Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Labyrinth. I, as always, am your host Nigel, and today, of course, as always, with Nigel Dixie's Tales from the Labyrinth, we're gonna do some poetry readings. Gonna have some fun. Now, what I did for this episode is kind of similar to what I did last time, where I picked out some poems that I wrote previous, and I want to reread them this time live, and I want to kind of talk about them a little bit. What was going on? Why did I write these? What was the purpose behind these? But there is another poem that I wrote specifically for this episode, and brand new poem. I'm gonna read it for you all, and of course I'm gonna talk about that one as well. But first things first, an announcement for Tales from the Labyrinth, and this is a pretty important one. I've done a lot of thinking about this, and I've decided that this episode of Tales from the Labyrinth is going to be the last one that's going to be on Facebook Live. Now, it's not, don't worry, Tales from the Labyrinth isn't going to be canceled or anything, but what we're going to do is I'm going to go live from my Instagram page at the Nigelverse on Instagram to, engage with my Instagram audience a lot more. And we're going to split up System Shock Radio and Tales from the Labyrinth between both. So it's still going to be bi-weekly and everything, and it's still going to be at the regular time. Of course, System Shock Radio is going to be at 12:30 p.m. every other Sunday, and Tales from the Labyrinth is going to be at 11 p.m. every other Sunday. So we're going to do it that way, and we'll see how it works out. Depending on attendance and everything and turnout, it may or may not change my mind, but we're gonna work with that a little bit, see how that goes down, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the first poem that I chose to read is What to Write, and I'm just gonna move my camera a little bit so I can actually read the poem. I didn't know what to write. I couldn't think of a poem. I had no words to convey. I had no clever rhetoric to spew. My head is filled with words and ideas. My heart is filled with feelings. My hands want to write, but they don't know what to write. I decided that the best thing to write was that I didn't know. The real reason I know now is because I didn't know. So, this I actually wrote a little while back on my Poetry with Nigel Dixie page, and the thing is, at this time I was going through a writer's block. Now, writer's block, for those of you who write pretty much anything, is when you're stuck. You pretty much run into a brick wall and you don't know what exactly to write next. You might be writing a narrative or spinning a story that you're writing down, but you come to a crossroad who's with a brick wall pretty much, and you're like, where do I continue to go with this? Is you don't know what exactly to write next, and turns out same thing happens in poetry. As I didn't know what poem I would necessarily want to write at the time, so basically I thought I'll write that I didn't know what exactly to write and turn that into a poem, and that's what I did to get over that curve. So this next one is List of Questions. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Can two vegans still have a beef? Why didn't Jack fit on the door as well? What happens if Pinocchio says that his nose will grow? If tomato is a fruit, can ketchup be a smoothie? Can a lightsaber cut through vibranium? Very important question. What if Romeo waited about 3 more minutes? Why do noses run but feet smell? Are there parallel universes? Whatever pets named us? How much would it cost to be Batman? How much would it cost to be Iron Man? What if the person who discovered poison berries was just allergic and we're missing out on a delicious berry? Was Billie Jean mentioned in a previous Michael Jackson song? Was the kid his son? So, the human mind is interesting. It thinks of a lot of things at a lot of different times. And these are just some of the thoughts swirling around in my head at sometimes. And there's some thoughts that I'm sure swirl around other people's heads at different points as well. Hell, it's stuff that you kind of think about. When you're just lying awake and your mind wanders and you contemplate things. You think about things that are going on and things you want to know more about. Oh, now a couple of these have already been answered, like the Batman Iron Man one. People actually figured out, and there's YouTube videos on it, calculating the cost for example, Iron Man with each suit and each piece of tech, and then Stark Tower and everything. They figured this stuff out, and some of these I kind of already know the questions to. For example, the Romeo one. If Romeo waited 3 more minutes, he probably wouldn't have died. And who knows about some of these other ones? Apparently, there are parallel universes, but yeah. So just list of questions that I think about. So this next one is called internal struggle. I feel me losing myself, lost out within the seas of my mind, trapped in a cage, waiting for freedom. I feel so disconnected. I look in the mirror and don't recognize my own reflection, staring back at me. Is this truly me, or a figment of my imagination? Am I truly whole, or broken into pieces? I don't know, and a part of me doesn't want to know. The bright flame of myself, reduced to a lowly candle. So, sometimes in life, we go through things and we question ourselves. We question our existence, and we go back and forth within ourselves as to what's going on with us. And it's something that most, if not all of us, do, and it's something I've done a few times. I will admit it, but I did kind of portray it this way in this poem, and it is kind of interesting. It is somewhat dramatic, I will give it that, but it's something that a lot of people go through as people. And this next one is called The Painter. The painter paints with a purpose, every brushstroke as important as the last. The painter uses many colors: white, green, blue, red, black, purple, yellow, orange, pink. The painter envisions the painting and paints away, day and night. The painter paints with precision. Nothing is out of place, nothing is messed up. Flawlessly painting, for the painter has done this several times before. The painter paints everything in rhythm and rhyme. The pretty sun, the beautiful sky, the lovely grass. The painter paints with love. He loves what he does, and he loves his audience, and his audience loves him. So, who exactly is this painter? It's up to you who you want this painter to be. That's what I love about poetry. He is sometimes, even when the writer of said poetry, he has an envision in mind as to who exactly they're talking about when they write poems. Sometimes it can be left up to interpretation, and sometimes there's moments where the reader or listener in this case is, or both, since this is, like I said, pre-written. I wrote this a little while back. It can be left up to interpretation, and so the question is, who's the painter in your mind? And lastly, this is the poem I wrote specifically for this episode, and I actually will post it on my Facebook page. But this one is called 1 Hour in Heaven. If I had 1 hour to take a trip up to heaven, I would love to see you again. I would look for you frantically until I found you. I would hug you and tell you about how much I missed you. I would talk about what happened while you were gone, and I would let you talk about what heaven is like. I would want to hold you for so long and never want to let go. I wish I had 1 hour in heaven so I could see you one last time. Now, oh, all of us have lost someone that we were close to in our life, and if we could see them one more time, and we would be so overjoyed just to see them, just to hear from them one last time. And it's something that we've all wanted at some point. Uh, for me, one of those people was my grandmother. She passed back in January of 2014. Her birthday was actually recently, like a week or two ago. And I dearly miss her, and I would love to talk to her again and tell her, what high school's like, what college is like, all that. And I know she'd be so happy and so proud of me. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, next time we do Tales from Labyrinth, which will be 2 weeks from now, it will be on Instagram at the Nigel verse on Instagram. If you haven't already, go follow that ad. I will link it in the comment section of this video. And of course, tune into System Shock Radio episode 47 just dropped earlier on this week, so go check that out. And follow me on YouTube at Nigel Dixie, and I will see you guys later. Peace.